It's a smorgasbord, as we say in Sweden, for entrepreneurs. But what they all lack is the ability to scale and get to massive amounts of existing customers and have the supply chains that the big companies have.
Welcome to GenAI Talks.
Welcome to GenAI Talks. It's your host, Samuel J. Cummins III. And I tell you, I get the opportunity to meet with brilliant people that are truly transforming the world with how AI is being applied. And today is nothing different. I have the honor of speaking with Edin. Can you introduce yourself, share a little about your background?
Fantastic. Edin. I work for KPMG. I lead our AI sales efforts globally. I'm an old hack at AI. I started my first internship in 1991 at an AI startup in Brussels called AI Systems. You haven't heard of it. Back in the day, and I must have been 3 years old apparently, but it was very, very early. So I got the bug already then. I've been part of this revolution for quite some time. Expert systems, then machine learning 10 years ago was a big thing for us. Did predictive churn measurements and stuff like that. But now, of course, for the last 3 years, I've been doing GenAI full-time, both on the board of KPMG and dealing with board members of our clients, and also as part of my day job, trying to help sell the services and the knowledge use the knowledge to our clients to help them transform using this fabulous technology.
Wow, I told you I had a gem for y'all. This is a conversation I've been waiting to have. When you look at the opportunities that are happening today, you've had a chance to see so many revolutions. How is this different? How is it the same? Can you give a little window into some of those experiences you had before seeing these things take place?
Yeah. No, it is different in many different ways. One of it is that it's affecting every part of society, right? Everyone knew when they had the first ChatGPT moment, and all the executives and board members actually had their kids show them how to use GPT, and then they went back to work and pushed the companies to talk about what are we doing with this, right? So we saw almost an overnight explosion. Every company, every function, everyone had to basically adopt this. We had to set up a triage team. We got 900 calls and emails in 8 months and had to go talk about GenAI. What is it? How is it different, etc. So it took everyone by surprise. The technology has been growing for 30 years, as you know. But when it really hit with the GPT, it affected everything. And it's also not a technology play. I used to say that GenAI brought AI out of the hands of 1,000 data scientists into the phones of 1 billion people, almost overnight, right? So that society effect and the productivity effect is amazing. Now what we're seeing is also the effect of humans. So what everyone thought would be just as rapid adoption of AI as on your personal phone, to move that to the place of work and the process of work has actually taken longer than people expected. Faster than anything in history, but still longer than people expected. So it's back to humans and how humans are behaving and behavior change and how our brain is interacting with opportunities and threats that are really driving this revolution. And you have the investment side, it's amazing, right? $1 billion a day being put into the AI data centers just by a handful of players in the world. And at the same time, you have 3 billion knowledge workers in the world starting to use this technology. And the balance between those two is what we're going to see happening really interesting. How quickly can we get the mass usage of this in the place of work to follow what we see as consumers? And that's going to change the world. And I'm a cautious optimist. But of course, there are a lot of risks and challenges that we have to take account. I used to say that GenAI is like if you're driving a racing car, you just got 500 more horsepower, but you need bigger brakes to be able to take the turns as well.
Wow. I mean, that is really the battle of our time. When you have these technological shifts that move so fast, the people element is where it's made. Can you speak a little bit to that? How much is that a part of the factor from what you're seeing? And then from a leadership perspective, what is maybe something that the leaders maybe aren't seeing that you find every time is an opportunity to really improve or grow?
No, and this is fascinating to me, and we predicted it, 3 years ago, that we think that most companies have 5 big problems. Every company have this. Where to start, where to deploy technology, what's the business case, how do you build a transformation program around this, how do you make the people come along, work with it, how do you make it trustworthy, and then how do you get the latest tech and data as fast as you can. Those 5 problems every company has. The relative balance between those 5 shifts every quarter. We test this with our quarterly pulse service. Sometimes it's the business case ROI, sometimes it's the data, sometimes it's the people. But right now, I would say the human factor is the biggest determinant whether we will get the ROI or not. And what people forget is that everyone who's now at work, whether they think so or not, are afraid that AI will take their job. And they're actually irrationally resisting using these tools. And you would think you would be more likely to keep your job if you are more productive in using it. But a lot of people, it goes back to how the brain was actually designed 100,000 years ago. So I make this fun, AI works because it copies how the brain works. And the biggest bottleneck now is the defense mechanisms that were built into our brain in the Stone Age to prevent ourselves from doing stupid things that would kill us then. They're still active. And right now, your and my brain is evaluating what's going on, and a lot of people's brains are feeling afraid at work. Some are even feeling afraid that if I use this technology, I would contribute to, transformers taking over the world in the future, et cetera, et cetera. So really understanding, and there's a lot of behavioral science out there that can tell you how to do this, but most companies don't use that science. And a lot of principles there that are going to have to be kind of reworked. So the traditional way of change management with IT was roll out the tool, train the people on using it, switch off the old tool, and anyone who's not on the new tool doesn't have a job. That does not seem to work with AI because everyone can split their time. It's only helping you with 10 or 30% of, it's not your whole thing, and the agents are not good enough yet to replace the whole you or the team. So everyone has a choice of how to spend their time, and it's nudging that, voluntary, how you spend time with it. It's actually holding up, the billions of dollars that go into the ground every day, and the ROI that everyone's waiting for sits with the individual human and how to work with them, not drive change to them.
Yeah, and the technology, media, and telecom space. What a place where AI is doing a lot, huh?
Yeah.
Can we walk through just what's going on in that space, how AI is really being transformative, and then really just the problem of today?
Yeah.
How do we bring people into this moment to really capitalize?
Right. It's very fascinating. So it's a tale of two cities, right? So tech companies transforming all other industries, right? The big tech names, they're putting AI, they're building the models, they're putting AI into the products, putting AI into the software, and every other industry is adopting and transforming. At the same time, many of these most advanced companies are not using their own technology in their back office. They are focusing on the product. They're focusing on the productivity of their customer, not so much of their self. So there's this duality in that sense, right, that they are focused on growth and not necessarily on 100% productivity and efficiency. So even the most advanced companies are not yet fully adopted. It's moving very, very quickly, right? Then you have the big players versus the small players, right? And this is a startup, moment in dreams, right? You have, I'm Swedish, so I'm very proud of Swedish startups right now. We're talking about Silicon Valley and Silicon Valhalla in Stockholm. Lovable is one of the fastest growing software startup in history. And the founders are billionaires after 11 months, right? What an amazing time for entrepreneurship come out. And at the same time, it's moving so quickly, right? So who knows where vibe coding is going to be in 9 months? What's the next thing coming after that, et cetera, right? So it's a smorgasbord, as we say in Sweden, for entrepreneurs. But what they all lack is the ability to scale and get to massive amounts of existing customers and have the supply chains that the big companies have. So there's a unique moment for big and small companies to work together. So us, for instance, as one of the big 4 advisory firms, we are working more with startups and fast growth companies than ever before, both to help us transform and to work with us with our clients so that we can take the latest innovation wherever it comes from to go there. So it's a fascinating space.
Thanks for bringing some of that truth to the people. I think there's so much of this that is happening in our lives every day. If you are watching this, you have an opportunity to participate. I mean, what a time to be alive. Thank you, Per. How can people follow you and stay in tune with what you're doing?
Well, just log in to kpmg.ai and or my LinkedIn account. So happy to share that.
Let's make history.
Yes.
See y'all soon.
Thank you.
What an honor.
Yeah.
Big ideas, real tools, bold moves. That's what Gen AI Talks is all about. Don't miss what's next. Subscribe and explore more in our Gen AI community.